What the Dead Know by Heart by Dante Collins. Lately, when asked how are you, I respond with a name no longer living. Rakia, Jamar, Sandra. I am alive by luck at this point. I wonder often, if the gun that will unmake me is yet made, what white birth will bury me? How many bullets, like a flock of blue jays, will come carry my black to its final bed? Which photo will be used to water down my blood? Today I did not die, and there is no God or law to thank. The bullet missed my head and landed in another. Today I passed a mirror and did not see a body. Instead, a suggestion, a debate, a blank post-it note there looking back. I haven't enough room to both rage and weep. I go to cry, and each tear turns to steam. I say I matter, and a ghost white hand appears over my mouth.
Okay, so hopefully you also have watched What the Dead Know by Heart by Dante Collins. As you can tell, I obviously put both of these together because they deal with shootings. So he is more focused on black the Black Lives Matter movement and the unjust shootings and deaths of many of the people that he's mentioned in his poem, and many more. So, what were your thoughts, Mr. Anderson?
Well, to be 100% honest, compared to the other one, I thought this was a lot more difficult to understand. I think he uses a lot of metaphors
Mm-hmm.
and
And similes.
similes in
Yeah.
this one, and so unless you can understand that metaphor, it's very difficult to understand what he's referencing or the, I guess, the message that he's trying to come across with.
Yeah.
But once you do, you can see that, oh wow, that's like a powerful metaphor, and so it makes more sense.
Mm-hmm.
So it takes a little bit longer to deconstruct this one, in my opinion, but still very effective.
Were there any lines that you could either confuse you or lines that you liked?
Let's see.
We're looking at the poem right now.
There was one that I really liked. I liked this one. It says, um, "The bullet missed my head and landed in another today." I thought that was interesting because it's like,
Sorry, I couldn't
well,
hear what you
Siri.
said.
I think it, to me, that kind of emphasized how it could really happen to anyone. That it's almost, it almost appears as like a random act. So you never know if
He's
you're going to
just
be the next
he's
target.
just waiting until
Yeah, you're
he's
just waiting
next.
until it's you.
Yes.
So
And it definitely gives this kind of ominous tone for it. He talks a lot about color,
mhm.
for sure. He talks. He I like. I thought it was interesting how he says my black, like to carry my black, and white birth and the white hand, and just to really show kind of this in like inequality, right?
Yeah.
One line I loved, I just thought this was such great writing, is when he says, I haven't enough room to both rage and weep. I go to cry, and each tear turns to steam.
It's like a mix of emotions.
Yeah, just like there's so much anger behind it that he can't even fully feel the sadness or the rage because it's just this confliction. Um, and then that last line, I think that's why I picked this poem, is that last line always haunts me. I say I matter, and a ghost white hand appears over my mouth.
hmm
What kind of comes to mind when you read that?
Well, it's almost in my, when I guess my interpretation is that, like, I think a lot of people, and I think he's speaking for a lot of African Americans who feel like when they are trying to say things or have a voice about this topic, um, they feel silenced
Yes.
very much by the white man or male who typically is in power positions, like
Mm-hmm.
law enforcement or in those positions that kind of can make a difference.
Yeah, or even just the fact that we can see all these people turning a blind eye.
Oh, for
And
sure.
that's another way of saying you don't matter, right? Is
Absolutely.
we're not going to address the problem. Thank you, Mr. Anderson.
You betcha.